veterans, they like to tell stories and anecdotes. And with Wim, we never speak about it, but I know in his memory, in my memory, and from probably Alison, we were traveling not being sure of the film, actually.
I want to start by asking you how old you were when you made Paris, Texas, when you worked on the film.
When I was Wim assistant?
Yes.
36, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was on how did you meet Wim?
I was working in Portugal.
Yeah.
He was in Portugal.
Shooting
State of Things.
State of Things, yeah.
And he called me and he said, I heard you're staying in Lisbon. Would you like to have a drink with me? And I was, of course, I said yes, you know. But I thought it was a joke, really, actually. Because he was probably the director I really wanted to meet, not to work with him, but just to meet and make sure, like Fassbinder, it was real, you know. He convinced me the best thing I could do was to work with him. And I don't know why I was afraid, because I wanted to do, I had started looking money for my first film, and Chocolat, and I told him I had to work on my project, and he convinced me that the best way to work on my own project was to work with him. I didn't trust him, but I felt there was something right, because I immediately enjoy the way he asked me to work with him, you know? So he told me to forget all the rest, to pack my stuff and meet him in Houston as soon as possible, because he was going there.
And this is 1983? 82? 82, okay.
By the time I finished Move and he started writing the script with Sam Shepard, and then I left.
Yeah.
And I met him in Houston airport, and it stopped there.
Didn't the seed of the idea for Paris, Texas come from Motel Chronicles by Sam Shepard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the first thing Wim made me read.
Was there one story in it that he was thinking of, or was it just the general
Especially
quality?
the one with the little kid sleeping in the car, because coming back and there is the dinosaur. I think that was really like that. With that novel, really, Wim started.
What kind of shape was the script in when you arrived? Where were they at?
The script was options, but there was no ending.
Right.
The meeting, the bank scene in Houston, all this does not exist. All this part of the script, let's say, from the moment where the two brothers reach L.A. And the scene in L.A., all the part of the ex-wife and everything, all the past, the flashback, everything disappear. And going with his son with the truck, and the dinosaurus truck stop, all this did not exist when I came. It was a very different script. I think everything was made over the phone as we start shooting. Actually, we did prepare. I did location scouting for all the scenes with him. When we were in Texas, going to Big Bend territory, where the film starts, and we were there in the evening, And Wim was thinking how to open the film. At this gas station, the guy who was serving gas, it's the gas station who is in the film actually, told us that he had a friend who could rent us a little tour with his own plane. And so next morning we went there and the guy took us in the plane. And he said he was willing to show us a place that was very special. No road to go there. And Wim was curious about this place called Devil's Graveyard. Suddenly, you have this phenomenon of red cliff, and like monument in the middle of a desert, I couldn't believe the beauty, And Wim said, that's where I want to open the film.
Was Harry Dean Stanton cast when you came aboard?
Not yet. Sam Shepard insists a lot for Wim to meet Harry Dean. And Dean Stockwell also knew Harry Dean. Everyone converged to the idea of Harry Dean Stanton.
Did it take a lot of convincing of him?
No, I think he was... But Harry Dean is not the guy who is screaming with joy when he's happy, He looks anxious and ready to bite,
Alison Anders worked on the film too.
Alison Anders was student. Wim chose 3 students he knew to be PAs and to travel with us. And Alison was the one who tamed Harry Dean Stanton. No, Alison was great. We still friends in a way, but we live so far away, But I like her very much, and she was not driving, so she was writing poetry and songs. And she was doing great,
So Sam Shepard wasn't there. Anytime there was a change, somebody had to call Santa Fe and figure out when he was going to call back. And then at a certain point in the film, didn't Kit Carson start writing?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's the father of Hunter Carson, who plays the boy.
Yeah. When Hunter was cast, of course, Wim met Kit Carson, and one day it seemed that Wim was in the dire strait. Not because of Sam Shepard, because we had not, the budget was to be re-evaluated. We were short on money, and we had to stop shooting 2 or 3 times. Especially one very dramatic time when we were stopped by the Teamsters in Texas, in El Paso. They kidnapped the camera truck. And Wim the camera truck back by playing poker again with them. And then Wim passed the exam to become a Teamster. And he made it. So he was allowed to drive the truck. Things like that,
Yeah, okay.
It was really shocking, I think, for Harry Dean, or some people in the crew felt exhausted by not knowing what was going on. And for me, it was obvious that Wim always took advantage of that.
Yeah.
He felt free.
Yeah.
I could see.
But being able to invent as you went along.
No, he was not joking with that. He was, and Robbie was complaining too. But I could see it was like a sort of special alcohol for Wim, that he was drinking in peace. This effect of not knowing exactly what was going to be the tomorrow. He seemed never afraid, you know. I would have freaked out like every day, you know. And I think in the very end, he told me that he knew all the time that thanks to those stops, thanks to all those terrible moments of our dire straits, as he would say, it was giving him time to rewrite the script, to figure out how to give him space. We had been visiting Port Arthur. Every bar and places were empty. Port Arthur used to be a gambling city.
Yeah.
And somehow the law changed in Texas, and there was no more gambling allowed in Texas. So all the gambling went on the other side of the river, Sabine River, in Louisiana. And suddenly Port Arthur became a ghost city, you know. So Wim liked this place so much, and he decided with the art director to use it to create this peep show with this glass conversation.
The girl was very young, about 17 or 18, I guess. And the guy was quite a bit older.
The peep show scene was sent through telephone by Sam Shepard.
The monologues.
The peep show monologues.
Yeah.
There are 2 scenes.
2, right, yeah.
It's a peep show that could only exist in a film. It's almost a place where you look for comfort. It's not only sexual healing, it's like soul healing, more or less. It was really tough because Nastasia had only a week. So we had to do everything inside a week.
Yeah.
The bank, the hotel room, the peep show, the driving.
I just remember that John Lurie appears suddenly in the movie in the peep show.
Sir, you're in the wrong place.
The scene was written, and there was this guy at the bar with one of the girls, and he looked like the pimp or the owner of the place. And he was not answering question like a gentleman, let's say. And I look at the casting picture we had in the truck, and I told him, I don't know, I think we need to find a guy with a snake face, because all those guys in Texas, they were really well fed, you know. Having steak for
chicken
breakfast.
Fried steak, yeah.
So I said, and he said, what you say, snake face? I know one. And he was having a holiday in Jamaica, and he flew directly from Jamaica to Houston.
Had Stranger Than Paradise been made yet?
In the middle. They had shot one part, and they were waiting for the money to shoot the second part.
Okay.
And then I took John in Port Arthur, near the place where we were shooting. And there was this place called Paris Wig. No, it's true. And they were selling those brown suits, really made for gamblers, you know.
With the big shoulder
brown
pads.
And shiny material, you know.
Yeah.
So we went to buy burgundy red one for January. And Wim told me, do you still have some per diem? I said, not much. I thought, no, it's not going to borrow my money for breakfast. No. I said, please, give me your per diem. So I gave him the per diem I had left. And he went and he bought a suit.
And did Wim plan early on to use Reconnect to do the score?
While he was editing in Berlin, he told me that probably Bob Dylan was going to compose the score. And then, for some reason, I was doing location scouting in Utah. And Wim called me and he said, do you have planned to go to LA? I said, yes. He said, do you have a car? I said, yes. He said, pick me up at the airport. I need stuff. In fact, he came to shoot extra shot he needed in Phoenix, Arizona. And to clarify the music and also to do loops with Aridin and in Stockwell. And the budget was gone, he was broke, so he understood there won't be no music written by Bob Dylan, and the film had already been selected for Cannes. And suddenly Wim thought about Reconnect, and Reconnect saw the film on tape one evening, and the next day was in the studio. And the day after, they recorded the music.
Wow. How long did it take him to record?
A day and a night.
Oh, boy.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Just like that, you know.
Was it in Cannes where you saw the film for the first time?
Yes.
So that must have been a pretty eye-opening
I never felt
experience.
an emotion like that, even with my own film, you know, because it was like to be ready in time. We had no optical sound. We were on magnetic tape. And on complete screening, I was afraid, we were all afraid that they might desynchronize during the screening.
Wow.
So I was almost fainting every second, you know. And I could feel something I never felt since that film. I don't know if the film has a grace that transported the people at that moment. Good film and good audience in the same time doesn't exist often.
Yeah.
But this time there was a sort of, I could feel the breathing, you know.
In the room during the
In the
screening.
room, and then people crying.
Yeah.
This is something, of course, very rare.
When was the last time you saw the movie?
On Arte, 2 months ago, I decided not to watch it, but then I decided to watch just the beginning. I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And then I called Wim. And then he came back. He flew to Paris the week after, and we spent some time. For me, it's like the thing you do when you're a kid. You share your blood, you know. You can fight after. You can disagree on everything. But this is something you have done. I mean, I have experienced, thanks to Wim.
Yeah.
Something, for me, I would say, bigger than my life. Not bigger than life, but bigger than my life. And it gave me the trust in making films.